Hi everybody and welcome to my channel, and here is some more James Bond trivia. This time it's Octopussy, and if you watch this video and you can hear some rumbling going on, we're having some thunder. It's thundering at the moment and it's raining. The last couple of days it's been very hot here in the UK, which is unusual for us, say the least. Anyway, here's some more trivia. According to Sir Roger Moore's commentary on the DVD, during the dinner scene, the eyeball in a stuffed sheep's head that Louis Jourdain eats is made out of marzipan. It was not planned part of the Indian cable chase sequence when a cyclist rode between the two battling vehicles, providing added suspense. In his book, I Wish You Inevitable Tales from Making of Princess Bride, states that before an actor has worked on the production assistant on this movie, one of his jobs was to drive Sir Roger Moore to work on the set movie. He further goes on to say he was a nervous wreck, being constantly afraid of getting in a car accident, accidentally killing Sir Roger Moore. So he drove very slowly on one occasion. Roger Moore calmly looked up from the newspaper he was reading while driving to work and said politely, You can speed up a little if you want to. Stuntman Martin Grace had a serious accident while filming on the train, hanging on the side of the train. When it went into a non-assisted area of the track and rammed into a pylon, seriously damaging his leg and hip and hospitalising him for several months. He made a full recovery. Barbara Kahar here turned down the role of Octopussy in order to appear in Never Say Never Again because she wanted to work with Sir Sean Connery. Robert Brown appears as M for the first time, replacing Bernard Lee, who died between Moonraker. Lee's final appearance as M and For Your Eyes Only, which 1981 left M out entirely. During filming, Sir Roger Moore was misgendered with heart problems. When he got home, Maud Adams and her boyfriend, who was a doctor, gave him a second opinion and pronounced him medically fit. The last Bond movie, to the name of the next Bond movie during the end credits, namely From A View to a Kill, which later dropped from the end of the title. Released in the same year as rivals Warner Brothers, James Bond production Never Say Never Again, which showcased the return of Sir Sean Connery to the role. The movie earned 187 million worldwide. Never Say Never Again earned 160 million. The quip at the end of the opening sequence, "Fill it up please," was entirely removed by director John Glenn. It was only when he went to the local cinema and caught the trailer, which included the line, and he saw how it went down with the audience. In the train flying car stunt, when the car landed on one of the stuntmen dressed as a fisherman, only made it out of the rowboat lake where the car was landing. The footage can be seen in the finished movie. Vinjay Ahmed played a snake charmer. Literally, is terrified of snakes and was virtually unable to take part in any of the action. His character mentioned that while disposing of the cobra in the basket by telling Bond, "It's the wrong cover, I hate snakes." Octopussy is the daughter of Major Dexter Smythe, who was allowed by James Bond to commit suicide rather than be captured when his crimes of embezzlement and murder were discovered. This is the only reference to Ian Fleming's original short story Octopussy in the movie. The Sotheby's auction scene comes from Ian Fleming's story Property of a Lady. The scene of 009 trying to escape East Germany is in Fleming's The Living Daylights. The line spent money quickly. Permission to shoot in the region of Umpar had to be sought and guaranteed from Roy Altman. He would frequently entertain A-listers of the cast and crew dinners during production. Q appears as the active participant in a mission for the first time, as opposed for being behind the scenes. This movie was released 4 months before Never Say Never Again. That was the second time that 2 James Bond movies were released in the same year. It previously occurred with Casino Royale, Rio, and You Only Live Twice. During casting, James Boland was almost given the role of James Bond, when the last minute Sir Roger Moore agreed to play Bond again. Boland's screen test can be seen on the DVD. Moore had gone out of contract after Moonraker and had agreed to return the role one more time in For Your Eyes Only. The production went with Moore because the movie could be competing with Never Say Never Again, starring original and former James Bond actor Sir Sean Connery. The uncertainty in using an American actor in the role, trying to introduce a new actor going up against Connery, was the reason. In the meantime, Oliver Tobias, Michael Bellington and Timothy Dalton and Ian Ogilvy have been considered for James Bond. Many production and story ideas and elements not used in Moonraker ended up being utilised for this movie. Those included the knife-throwing twins, the cast of Louis Jourdain as the villain. A back game was originally intended to take place in Max Culver's club in The Spy Who Loved Me. Christine Wadman had broke several toes of her foot while shooting the attack on the Monsoon Palace in Octopussy Circus. A bazooka was the thug's arms was supposed to be replaced with a plastic model. The stuntman was holding a metal one by accident. Even though Maud Adams played the title role, the audience didn't see her face until 1 hour and 9 minutes into the movie. The elephant hunt season had its origins in The Man with the Golden Gun. Producer Harry Saltzman had wanted an elephant stampede in the movie so Bond and Scaramanga could chase each other on an elephant back. The rest of the Craig team blinked at the idea, but Saltzman wanted the elephant trainer. It turns out the elephants needed special shoes on their feet to protect them from rough surfaces when they work. The black and white octopus insignia was a symbol of Spectre, the criminal spy organisation seen in other James Bond movies. However, the short story and this movie is no connection to either. If the producer wanted to resect of this movie, the legal settlement with Kevin McCrory gave him all rights of the use of Spectre. While travelling on a plane between England and India in August 1982, production designer Peter Lament was on a plane that was hijacked. Ooh. Clap of thunder. When the recasting of him in this movie, it was Sir Roger Moore who recommended Robert Brown for the part. Moore had known Brown since the two worked together on the television series Ivanhoe in 1958. In 1983 saw all three actors who played James Bond reprise their roles. Moore and Connery led in their own features, but lesser known is that George Lazenby had a cameo as the character in JB in the TV movie The Return of the Men from U.N.C.L.E. Lazenby is only referred by the initials of James B. He even drives an Aston Martin to help Napoleon Solo in a car chase. General Orlov's line, "But tomorrow will be the hero of the Soviet Union," was removed in Finland. For the first James Bond movie to be released with MGM Lion logo, beginning of MGM United Artists in 1982, the year before the release of this movie, and this is the first Bond movie distributed by the new company, MGM UA Distribution Company. When Roman Sanchez spoke to producer Margaret J. Wilson in the 1980s, Wilson reiterated that considered it could be the end of James Bond and film franchise, pointing out that Sean Connery returning as James Bond in other movies not by Eon Productions. He was careful not to reveal copyrighted material to help him. A consent was needed, and that could be in anything which the opposing movie studio came up against. Sanchez gave Wilson a concept that eventually made its way made his way to the movie. A female villain with a female criminal organisation. Richard Melbourne wanted Gert Philby to come back as Goldfinger's twin brother. This is the last time we will get to see this idea, as Gert Philby died in 1988. Hansted is a fictitious German city created for this movie. Most of the crew, as well as Sir Roger Moore, had died problems when shooting in India. In other words, they had the dreaded Indian belly, the trots, as they say. Although an Indian location had been previously chosen for Live and Let Die, India only became a choice location scouts claimed the city of Yuba and its local leader allowed full cooperation access to ancestral stunning palaces. Octopussy and the Living Daylights was the 14th and final Ian Fleming James Bond book published in 1966. Sometimes it's released as just Octopussy. It was the second book in the series after Man with the Golden Gun. The 13th James Bond movie, the Eon Production franchise, and the 6th to star Sir Roger Moore as Bond. The pre-title sequence had a scene where Bond flies a B-5J aircraft through an open hangar. Hollywood stunt pilot and aerial coordinator J.W. Parry had pointed this aircraft as more than 151 kilometers per hour, he said. Today, for few directors would consider such a stunt. As of 2023, this is the only movie in the official James Bond franchise to feature a woman's name or a nickname in the title of the movie. Two premier gadgets Bond received from Q, a pen containing acid and a watch with a video capability, are similar to gadgets given to A.K. James Bond in Casino Royale 1967. In a break with tradition, Sir Roger Moore used a water P5 throughout much of the movie and replaced the water PP case. I said he misplaced. However, it's incorrect to believe that the pistol that Bond lost during the bazaar was from the case he's holding on a P5. The dialogue is an error. Correct. Sean Connery carries a P5 in the unofficial Bond movie from the same year. Some of the scenes at the circus set in Germany were filmed in the US Air Force Base Upper Ayford, England. You especially see when Bond is driving through unguarded main gate when he crashes through the barricade on the White Line. A wide shot of the circus performance trailers. An F-1 aircraft can be seen in the background. In the DVD Ultimate Edition, John Glenn comments he picked up Paul Adric for the role of the Soviet chairman because he was perfect. Then Leon Bedrev look-alike. The same thing happened in You Only Live For Your Eyes Only with Janet Brown. This is the only James Bond movie that Eon Productions officially franchised that featured the famous West Berlin and East Berlin Wall Crossing project, Checkpoint Charlie. Barbara Block, producer, and Albert R. Broccoli's daughter, was executive assistant. She took over Brooks and Eon James Bond projects after her late father's death, associated with executive producer Michael J. Wilson. Kamal's cheating of backgammon was taken from the novel Moonraker, where Hugo Drax cheats at bridge until Bond beats him at his own game. Barbara Parkins auditioned and was considered for the role of Octopussy. She appeared in Sir Roger Moore's Shouting at the Devil in 1976. In the fight in Octopussy's bedroom, an henchman is thrown into the aquarium and ringed octopus attaches itself to the man's face. The octopus is almost the same as land when the species is about the size of a golf ball. In one scene, a Soviet chairman, played by Paul, is seen and appears to be the Soviet leader, Leonardo. Real-life Bridges died in November 1982 after this scene was filmed and before the film's release. Post-production, the filmmakers felt like deleting the scene due to Brezhnev's passing, but the scene was needed the plot and the film doesn't, especially what year time it was, and decided to left in the film. Not March of 2001, an article in the British newspaper The Guardian reported that this movie was still shown nightly in the town of Upar. Rumours abounded prior to the movie's release that Sean Connery was going to appear in this movie alongside Sean as the villain, in similar claims on and off ever since. The main title song, An All-Time High, was sung by Rita Coolidge and made it on the US charts. That started in July the 2nd, 1980 and went to number 36. The song went to number 1 spot in the US. And as an early draft of the script cast, Octopussy as the villain, using research on Tracy's death to manipulate Bond in joining a vendetta against Spectre. Ongoing legal battle with Kevin McRoy put a stop to that. The key image of the movie's poster had Octopussy James Bond with 8 arms, if it was 8 tentacles. Octopussy was originally intended to be the villainess, and in the media at the time it was reported that Faye Dunaway was because of the part, but she was deemed too expensive. The royal wedding world premiere was held on June the 6th, 1983. In all of the scenes taking place in East Germany, only a single German voice is heard that actually belongs to a native German speaking, and no significant American accent. The music video for the title song All Time High featured Rita Coolidge at an Indian palace where not one of the movie's filming location was such the Royal Pavilion, Brighton. With this entry, the 007 series, the aging Roger Moore both grew out of and lined his hair to make him appear younger than he actually was. Ken Burns, an extra worker on this movie at the Valley train location, was allowed to film a Super 8 6-minute movie of the filming of Peterborough location. A view on the autumn of this movie. The shot includes footage of Sir Roger Moore and Michael J. Wilson. This movie was the first of 2 James Bond movies to be filmed throughout other locations. During pre-production, there was some concern of how the movie title would be received. Maud Adams appeared on the same episode of the 70s show in 1998. The reason this movie's title doesn't appear in the song is because nothing rhymed with it. Moore's hair is notably longer than in previous Bond films, most likely due to aging process. During leading to the circus, a performer was wearing a silver shamrock skeleton mask from 3 Season of the Witch. The central plot, Soviet agents faking an accidental nuclear explosion on US Air Force base to force NATO to withdraw tactical weapons from Europe, is very similar to that of the Fourth Protocol, starring Pierce Brosnan. The MI6 Universal Exports building exterior used in this movie, A View to a Kill, and A Living Day, and License to Kill, the old Cold War office near Westminster. This is the second James Bond movie to utilise Swedish actress, after The Man with the Golden Gun at the Maud Adams played both these movies. He was part of in Octopussy in 1983. The next, the James Bond novels and movies had been well known for having double innuendo character names, particularly for henchmen and henchwomen. Jaws, Mayday, Knick-Knack, Odd Job and Bond Girls and Bond Women, Mary Goodnight, Honey Rider, Plenty O'Toole and Holly Goodhead. Octopus itself was originally supposed to be South Asian. This is the second Sir Roger Moore movie to be shot in India. The first one was Seawolves, along with Gregory Peck and David Niven. Maud Adams appeared with Christopher Lee in The Man with the Golden Gun in 1974. He is known for portraying Dracula, or like Dracula in Count Dracula in 1977. Louis Jourdain and Karen Baden appeared in Counterforce in 1988. Fatima Whitbread was offered a featured role. The Octopussy movie was recorded at now demolished studios in Wimbledon, London. The studios are the last at the time known as the Music Centre. This is the only to date James Bond movie to include the name of a female lead character in the title, Dr. No, 1962, and Goldfinger in 1964. Well, that's the end of more of my James Bond trivia, this time Octopussy. Like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you all again in another one.